Hey guys, what's going on? This is your old pal CHH here today, and today I want to have like a little bit of a kind of campfire session with you guys. So I was having a conversation with a buddy earlier, and this is probably the 15th time this year this has happened. I asked him if he ever seen a movie called The McPherson Tapes. Now, listen, when it comes to found footage, a lot of the movies that are revered and loved have that recognition. We can look no further than movies like The Blair Witch Project, a movie that, if you were around during the late 90s, it was sold like it was real, and the beauty of it was during that time, they were able to actually sell it off that way. Yeah, the internet existed, but still, nobody could really go online that easily. I think my family didn't really get internet that was dial-up for at least a few years. High-speed internet would be a thing for quite some time. But I remember how intense the worldview of Blair Witch was. It was looked at as a phenomenon. In my high school years, I'll never forget hearing everybody talk about paranormal activity. I even remember I was in a financial math class when my whole entire class talked about going to see this movie. Everybody was excited to see this movie. It was the talk of the town. And then when I got into horror, there was a movie that was mentioned to me that I needed to see. Everybody said it's one of the most disturbing found footage movies ever made. As a matter of fact, apparently the director of the movie had to go to prison because they didn't think it was fake. They thought what they were seeing was real. That movie, of course, is called Cannibal Holocaust. And to say it measures up to the legend of what it is an understatement. Cannibal Holocaust is still one of the most legendary, intense movies you can ever see. But it wouldn't be for a little while later I would hear rumblings every now and again about this movie. Then there was this documentary that was put on Shudder. Now, this documentary is absolutely amazing, and I recommend you watching it. It's a documentary about found footage movies. The name of it's slipping me right now, but I'm sure I'll show a picture of the name of it on screen right now. Now, this documentary is going over the history of found footage, going over movies that really left a splash. As a matter of fact, there was even a movie I watched because of the documentary that I ended up loving. It was called Found Footage 3D. Now, this is a movie I'm trying to own. Getting the Blu-ray is a little bit difficult, but that was really good. And I watched it, of course, as a 2D version, but man, what a movie. Some of these found footage movies are just going for it. One that came out not too long ago was called Deadstream. Guys, Deadstream is amazing. It's Evil Dead meets Blair Witch Project. I love it. It is so good. But there was this guy who started talking about, yeah, I was the one that kind of got this thing going again. I was like, wow, what is this? The name of that movie is called The McPherson Tapes. The McPherson Tapes is a found footage movie, get ready for this, from 1989. Now, yes, obviously Cannibal Holocaust predates this movie by a number of years, but the thing about Cannibal Holocaust is really it's never been done that way ever again. As a matter of fact, when the movie had a soft remake in Green Inferno, it was done as just a movie. Not to say that Green Inferno gets anywhere as close to how good Cannibal Holocaust is, but I do like Green Inferno. But when you think about found footage, and especially when you think about it the way that we do today, the way it's set up, the premise, kind of the blueprint of what found footage is, I think you have to look at this movie. The McPherson Tapes is so cool. Now, is it the greatest found footage movie I've ever seen? I wouldn't say so. But the McPherson Tapes does some really cool stuff. Now, the McPherson Tapes is about this family that's filming a birthday party when all of a sudden they start hearing some strange noises outside of the house. Now, in the McPherson Tapes, you'll notice something that is just truly mind-boggling to me. Usually when you see movies that kind of blaze a trail or set a standard for where things are going, it'll be good, but you'll see improvements over time. Acting in the McPherson Tapes and the portrayal of this family celebrating a birthday party in 1989 is beyond authentic. It feels so real. And I think I know why on a couple of reasons. Number one, the director knew that, hey, we have to make this come across as authentic as possible. It's a birthday party. Act like a family. Be together. Do your thing. And number two, he had to make a movie this way because he had no money to actually make a movie. So this was a way to try to set up a premise that would seem believable with the kind of budget he had. And then the other thing to mention is how cool this feels now with this actually being filmed in 1989. You know, a lot of stuff gets close trying to replicate that old school feel like the WNUF movies, but you can't beat actually being there during the aesthetic of the stuff we love. So to see a family in 1989 doing a movie, a found footage movie no less, it feels so real. Now in this movie, we see a couple of people that are filming go outside and they hear aliens and they see an alien ship deep into the woods. It's kind of suspenseful, to be honest with you. The moments of them trying to approach this thing really gets creepy. But when they go back to the house and let everybody know what they see, everybody's freaking out. So I'll keep it right there. I don't want to spoil too much about the McPherson tapes, but man, this movie still doesn't get the credit. Not enough people have seen this movie, and when I've asked people all the time about this and they say they haven't seen it, I've got to do something. If you're a fan of found footage movies and you've watched a lot of the great ones like The Blair Witch Project, Paranormal Activity, The Last Broadcast, you name it, all the ones that are considered classics, and you haven't seen the McPherson tapes, not here to judge, but my point is, please go out of your way, watch this, buy this release, and get on it. This is really a movie that deserves the credit, and unfortunately, and quite frankly, sadly, still doesn't get it. Now, what about this Blu-ray release? This was put out by American Genre Film Archive, the McPherson tapes. This is a Blu-ray release and it's pretty cool. What's cool about this release is the features that it has. Now, when the McPherson tapes came out, there was a certain cut of the movie, but this Blu-ray actually has the director's cut of the McPherson tapes. Let's look on the back and I'll tell you guys about the features. So on this release, we're going to have a new transfer from the original 3/4 master tape, the UFO Abduction, the 2017 director's cut, commentary track with director Dean Aliato on original cut, 1989 theatrical premiere introduction, Encounters TV segment, Fantastic Fest Q&A. So guys, I am a huge lover of found footage, and honestly, it's my duty to try to bring more people to the McPherson tapes. Please check this movie out. Experience this movie in the right setting. Don't watch this in the daytime, playing on your phone. Go in a dark room, shut the lights off, put a blanket over yourself, and get cozy and get lost in this family celebrating a birthday party in 1989 when some unlikely visitors appear deep into the woods. The McPherson tapes is truly a found footage juggernaut that unfortunately is still hidden for some reason. Hopefully this video will change that and you'll check this movie out. So if you're a found footage lover and you're looking for that next film, you gotta go back instead of forward this times. Check out the McPherson tapes, one of my favorites. Huge giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind the scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.